Aragorn, son of Arathorn and Gilrain, was the 16th chieftain of the Dunedain, and later crowned King Elessar Telcontar, High King of Gondor and Arnor. Aragorn was a descendant of Elros, Elrond's brother. Through his lineage he would be the last descendant of both Isildur and Anarion. When he was but 2 years of age, his father was slain by orcs, prompting his mother to bring him to Rivendell, where he was fostered by Elrond and the elves. As Aragorn grew older, Elrond revealed to him his true nature, handing him the Ring of Barahir, a ring forged in the First Age and given to men by the elves, and the shards of Narsil, the fragments of the blade that cut the ring from Sauron's hand. Aragorn, with this knowledge, left the safety of the Elf realm, and settled with the scattered remains of rangers of the north, where he took up the mantle as chieftain of the Dunedain. It was around this time that Aragorn met Gandalf the Grey, and on Gandalf's advice began guarding the Shire. It was here that Aragorn earned a new name, Strider. Aragorn undertook a great many journeys during his time as a ranger, fighting across Middle-earth, earning experience in battle and strategy, learning of the woes of the world. Aragorn would serve both the kingdom of Rohan and Gondor as Vorongil, Eagle of the Star. One notable battle had Aragorn commanding a small squadron of ships from Gondor, where he assaulted the corsair city of Umbar, burning many of their ships and slaying their leader. Later in life, Aragorn had returned to the Elf-realm to visit them in Lothlorien. He came upon Arwen, whom he had met in his youth. He gave her his ring, and she pledged her hand to him in marriage. Her father Elrond refused, believing Aragorn could only marry his daughter if he became the High King of both Gondor and Arnor, in more than just title alone. Sometime later, Gandalf came to Aragorn with a task of utmost importance. Go to the land of Rovanion, and seek out the creature Gollum. Aragorn completed his task, coming across the creature in the dead marshes. Gollum was brought to the halls of Mirkwood, and questioned about the One Ring. After the ring's true nature was discovered, the events of the War of the Ring began to take place. Aragorn watched the Great East Road. There he spotted several hobbits, travelling to Bree. Here he met Frodo Baggins, and led the hobbits away from Bree, and the grasp of their pursuing ring wraiths. It would be these wraiths that Aragorn would later have to do battle with. No mortal man could defeat them, but Aragorn was of a different kind, and bravely fought his lost brethren. Eventually the party had made the journey to Rivendell. Here Aragorn pledged himself to Frodo, and to the Fellowship of the Ring. The shards of Narsil were reforged into Andúril, Flame of the West. As the Fellowship travelled forward, Aragorn proved himself a capable warrior and protector of the group. He battled the wargs of the Misty Mountain, and defended Frodo from the Watcher in the Water. During their harrowing journey through Moria, Aragorn had personally slain the Orc chieftain there, and led the Fellowship out of Moria into Lothlorien. As they passed the Argonath and made camp by the river, a band of Saruman's Uruk-hai had followed them. The battle was intense, and the Fellowship was split apart in the ensuing carnage. Aragorn, alongside Legolas and Gimli, made haste across the width of Rohan, hunting down the Uruk-hai, as they had taken their friends Merry and Pippin captive. The party then travelled to Edoras, home of the Horse Lords, in hopes of organising the Rohirrim against Saruman. It was in the fortress of Helm's Deep where Aragorn would again prove his worth as a warrior and commander. Successfully defending the keep after Saruman's defeat, Aragorn held high the Palantir of Orthanc, revealing himself as the heir of Isildur to the Dark Lord Sauron. In Sauron's panic, he sent out his vast army, in hopes of destroying Minas Tirith, and with it the hopes of all men. To defend the city, Aragorn travelled the paths of the dead, where he would summon the dead men of Dunharrow, who owed their allegiance to him. Aragorn was successful, and travelled up the river of Anduin, with a large contingent of soldiers at his side. Aragorn then led his soldiers into the Pelennor fields, where a great battle took place. It was difficult, and wrought with terror, and yet they persevered, defeating the armies of Sauron. After the battle, Aragorn's nature was revealed to all of the people of Gondor, though he knew becoming king at this stage would be a detriment to his people. Fearing it would cause internal strife at a time when cohesion was sorely needed, Aragorn then led the army of the West to Mordor, hoping to draw the Dark Lord's attention away from Frodo and Sam. The army marched over the Anduin River, burning the fields of Minas Morgul. They marched through Ithilien, defeating orcs and Easterlings on their way to Mordor. The army then made it to the Black Gate of Mordor, where the Battle of the Black Gate was fought. The battle was fierce, with Sauron's forces outnumbering and encircling the army of the West. Regardless, the battle was won, the ring was destroyed, and Sauron was defeated. After the battle, Aragorn helped clear out the final orcs of Mordor, and freed a great many slaves. After their victory, Aragorn was crowned King Elessar, becoming the 26th king of Arnor, the 35th king of Gondor, and the first High King of the reunited kingdom. His reign was marked by great harmony and prosperity. The men of the West became great allies again of the elves and dwarves, and Aragorn proved himself to be a talented and worthy leader. Many years then passed. Aragorn bid farewell to his children, and passed away, ending his reign as king and his time on Middle-earth. Aragorn was a noble and honourable man, proving himself to be a brave and committed leader. His compassion and selflessness a lesson to all who would listen. Aragorn was a man that was willing to take great risks to help those around him. His integrity and love were a testament to him, and his legacy will forever live on in our hearts.